It was freezing. The kind of cold that cuts through your bones before you even realize it. Jason almost didn't stop. He had his head down, hands in his pockets, rushing out of the subway like everyone else. Just another late night. Just another long shift. Nothing special. Until he saw him. A man. Sitting on the sidewalk. No coat. No gloves. Just a thin hoodie and shaking hands that couldn't stay still. People walked past like he didn't exist. Jason did too at first. But then something felt off. Not guilt. Not pity. Something stronger. He stopped. Turned around. And for a second, he just stood there, staring. Like his brain was trying to talk him out of it. Keep moving. You're tired. It's not your problem. But his body didn't listen. Jason slowly took off his jacket. His only jacket. The cold hit instantly. You need this more than I do, he said, handing it over. The man looked up, confused, like this wasn't supposed to happen. Why? He asked quietly. Jason shrugged. I don't know. Just take it. No speech. No speech. No camera. No posting it online. Just walked away. And that should have been the end of it. Right? Wrong. Because the next morning, at exactly 9:12 a.m., Jason's phone rang. It was his boss. And the tone in his voice? Cold. Serious. Jason, he said, I need you in my office. Now. No explanation. No warning. And somehow, Jason already knew. Something had gone very, very wrong. Jason didn't move. For a second, he just stared at his phone like it might explain itself. His boss never called like that. Never. Not this early. Not that tone. Something was off. Did I mess something up? He muttered, already running through every email, every task, every conversation from the past week. Nothing. No warning signs. No complaints. So why did it feel like his stomach just dropped off a cliff? He grabbed his keys and headed out, the cold air hitting him even harder this time. Because now, he didn't have a jacket. And weirdly, that's when it hit him. The man from last night. The shaking hands. The confused look. That one question. Why? Jason shook it off. No way that had anything to do with this. Right? The drive to the office felt longer than usual. Every red light dragged. Every second stretched. His mind kept spinning worst-case scenarios. Was he getting fired? Demoted? Or worse, blamed for something he didn't even do? By the time he walked into the building, his chest felt tight. Too quiet. Too still. A few coworkers glanced at him, then quickly looked away. That didn't help. Not at all. Jason, his boss's assistant said, standing up a little too fast. He's waiting for you. No smile. No small talk. Just a closed door at the end of the hallway. Jason walked toward it, each step heavier than the last. His hand hovered over the handle. This was it. Whatever was about to happen, there was no going back. He took a breath, opened the door, and instantly froze. Because sitting across from his boss was someone he never expected to see again. Jason's brain stalled. For a split second, nothing made sense. Because sitting there, calm, composed, wearing a perfectly tailored suit, was the same man from last night. The homeless man. Except now, he didn't look homeless at all. Clean shave, sharp posture, expensive watch catching the light. Jason blinked. Once. Twice. I think I'm in the wrong room, he said, already stepping back. Sit down, Jason. That was his boss. Same cold tone. No room for questions. Jason slowly pulled out the chair, his eyes locked on the man. The man smiled slightly. You don't recognize me? He asked. Jason swallowed. I do. I just don't understand. Good, the man said. That means you weren't expecting anything in return. That sentence hit differently. Jason leaned forward. What is this? His boss folded his hands. Let me explain something before you say another word. The room felt tighter. He came to me this morning. His boss continued, nodding toward the man. Asked very specific questions about one of my employees. Jason's heart started pounding. What kind of questions? He asked. The man leaned in slightly. About your character. Silence. Not performance. Not work. Character. Jason frowned. Why would you? Because last night, the man interrupted. I needed to know something. His voice was calm, but deliberate. I needed to know if people still do the right thing when nobody's watching. Jason's chest tightened. So this is a test? He asked. The man didn't answer right away. Instead, he reached into his coat pocket and placed something on the desk. Jason looked down, and his stomach dropped, because it was his jacket. But that wasn't the shocking part. What was inside the pocket changed everything. Jason's eyes locked on the jacket. Same worn fabric. Same small tear near the sleeve. No doubt, it was his. But the way the man placed it on the table, careful, deliberate, felt different. Heavy. Like it meant more now than it did last night. Go ahead, the man said softly. Jason hesitated, then reached forward and picked it up. It felt thicker. That didn't make sense. His fingers slid into the inside pocket. And that's when he felt it. Paper. A lot of it. His breath caught. Slowly he pulled it out. An envelope. Clean. Sealed. Not his. Jason looked up, confusion written all over his face. What is this? Open it, his boss said. No emotion. Just instruction. Jason broke the seal. Inside. Cash. Stacks of it. Neatly arranged. Crisp. Real. His hands started to shake. This isn't mine, he said quickly, almost defensive. I wouldn't. I know, the man interrupted. Calm. Certain. That's exactly the point. Jason looked between them. Then why is it in my jacket? The man leaned back slightly, studying him. Because last night, when you gave it to me, it wasn't empty. Silence slammed into the room. Jason's mind raced. No, that's not possible. I checked my pockets before I left work. I always do. Did you check every pocket? The man asked. Jason froze. That he wasn't sure. His boss leaned forward now, eyes sharper. Jason, do you have any idea what's inside that envelope? Jason shook his head slowly. No. The man's expression shifted, subtle, but serious. It's not just money. Jason's grip tightened. Then what is it? The man paused. Just long enough to make it worse. And then he said something that made Jason's blood run cold. That envelope wasn't meant for you to find. Jason's pulse spiked. Not meant for me, he repeated, his voice tighter now. The man nodded once. That envelope was planted hours before you ever left work. Jason turned to his boss. Planted? By who? His boss didn't answer right away, which was answer enough. Jason leaned back, trying to process it. Wait, you're saying this was already in my jacket before I even stepped outside? Yes, the man said calmly. And we needed to know what you would do with it. Jason laughed under his breath. Not because it was funny, but because it didn't make sense. So this is some kind of setup? A trap, he asked. Call it a test, his boss said. One you didn't even know you were taking. Jason shook his head. That's insane. Why me? The man leaned forward now, his eyes sharper. Because you're about to be promoted. That hit harder than anything so far. Jason blinked. What? To a position where trust matters more than talent, his boss added. Where one wrong decision costs millions. The room went quiet again. Jason looked down at the envelope. Money. Temptation. Opportunity. And last night, he gave the jacket away without checking. Without thinking. Without knowing what was inside. The man studied him carefully. If you had kept that jacket, you would have eventually found this. Jason swallowed. And then we'd see who you really are. Jason's chest tightened. And if I kept it? His boss didn't hesitate. You wouldn't be sitting here. Silence. Heavy. Final. Jason exhaled slowly. So, I passed. The man's lips curved slightly. Not yet. Jason frowned. What do you mean, not yet? The man tapped the envelope. Because there's one more thing you still don't know. Jason's grip tightened again. What? The man's expression darkened just a little. That money isn't company money. Jason's head snapped up. If it's not company money, then whose is it? He asked. The man didn't answer immediately. Instead, he leaned back, studying Jason like this was the moment that mattered most. The kind, he said slowly, that people don't just forget about. Jason's stomach dropped. That doesn't sound like a test anymore, he said. His boss finally spoke. It became more than a test, the second you made that decision last night. Jason frowned. What decision? I just gave away a jacket. No, the man corrected calmly. You gave away access. Silence. Jason looked down at the envelope again, like it might suddenly explain itself. Inside that cash, the man continued, is a tracking strip. Invisible. Untraceable to most people, but not to the ones who put it there. Jason's pulse quickened. You're saying someone is tracking this money? Yes. And it was in my jacket. Yes. And I handed it to you. The man nodded. Jason leaned back, running a hand through his hair. So, whoever owns that money thinks you have it now. Exactly. The weight of that hit all at once. This is bad, Jason muttered. It could be, his boss said. Depending on what happens next. Jason looked between them. Why are you telling me this now? The man's expression turned serious. No more subtle smiles. No more calm distance. Because you're already involved. Jason's chest tightened. I didn't sign up for this. No one ever does, the man replied. A long pause. Then Jason asked the question that had been building since the moment he walked in. What do you want me to do? The man leaned forward, lowered his voice. There's only one way to fix this. Jason's fingers curled slightly. And it requires you to go back out there. Jason froze. Back where? The man held his gaze. To the exact place you found me last night. A beat. And then, because someone else will be waiting for you. Jason didn't like this. Waiting for me, he said. No. I'm out. His boss didn't argue. That was worse. You can walk away, the man said calmly. But this won't walk away from you. Jason's jaw tightened. Or you finish it. Silence. Jason looked at the jacket. Last night, it was nothing. Now it meant everything. What happens if I go? You get the truth. And if I don't? His boss answered. They'll find you. That settled it. Fine. I'll go. Same street. Same cold. But this time, Jason wasn't just passing through. He stopped at the exact spot. Empty. Then, right on time, a figure stepped out of the shadows. Different man. Put up. Watching him. You have something that's not yours, the stranger said. Jason stayed calm. I think you're mistaken. A slight smile. No, I'm not. He stepped closer. But something felt off. Not anger. Not threat. Something else. You passed, the man said. Jason froze. Passed what? The first test. Jason's heart pounded. How many are there? The man leaned in. As many as you survive. A pause. Jason swallowed. What is this? The man pulled out a card. Handed it over. No name. Just 3 words. We've been watching. Jason looked up. Gone. Next morning, Jason sat at his desk. Card in hand. His boss walked in. What did they offer you? Jason frowned. You knew? A small smile. Of course. Jason leaned forward. What is this? His boss paused. An opportunity. For what? To find out who you really are. Jason stared at him. Because deep down, this wasn't over. Not even close.